Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the live. This is John and Jenna with Flippin' Ain't Easy, and it was Jenna's fault this time. It was her fault this time. Mm-hmm. But as you can see, we're not twins. It just, decided to dress alike today. We had lunch with Brett and Julie, Mad Hatter's Boutique. Here's their little logo. And Mad Hatter's Boutique is their eBay store name, one word. And they have just a lot of good stuff. They're doing well with sales. Really good stuff on their store.
And, put it in
I'll put the link. Looks like the mailman's here, so I guess bad timing. The FedEx guy came here like 10 minutes before the show began, so I was hoping everything would be out of the way before we started. So check out Brett and Julie's store, Mad Hatter's Boutique, and I will put a little deal in the chat so you guys can check it out, because really good people. We had lunch, and they brought us these Mitchell and Ness sweaters for the Raiders. So really nice. On the back it says "Real men wear black." So it's pretty sick. And I got to tell you, to the person, and I don't know, I forgot the name, I apologize, who was the Giants fan, I told you. It was actually a lot worse than I thought it would be. The Raiders ended up really kicking some butt yesterday. So I'm going to put this here in this link in the chat, and I want you guys, when you get a chance, go check it out. Maybe you'll see something that you like, Mad Hatter's Boutique, but also he's doing well. He's doing really good, and maybe the store will give you some ideas as to, things that you can implement into your own listings. I always think it's a good idea to look and see what other people are doing, even if you're not selling hats and, sweaters and stuff like this. Even if you're not doing any of that, you can always pick up on how they maybe map out their titles, how they present their photos, how many photos, how the item description looks. See, and in the back it says, real men wear black. And these are Mitchell and Ness, probably some of the most quality brand out there.
They are such good quality. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, gotta love it. And it's the right time of year.
Thank you, Brett and Julie.
So we had a good lunch and good conversation, and hope to see them again here real soon. I'm not sure they're going to make the live, but do check out their store if you get a chance. Now, the sales for me, just not so hot. And in fact, it was a kind of a blah weekend, and we're talking like $200 Friday, $200 Saturday, $200 on Sunday. And then as of this afternoon was a big goose egg. And then I went to the last hour, I've made $230 in sales. So it's just, I don't know if someone flipped the switch.
Yep.
But I sold everything. Well, I didn't sell everything but the kitchen sink. I sold the kitchen sink. I literally sold the kitchen sink, and I sold a vehicle charging station pedestal for a Tesla. So it's not the actual charger, but it's the little pedestal that holds the box.
Yeah, rather than putting it on the wall.
Yeah. And so just weird things, right? And we're talking just those two items, $230 in sales. I'll probably end up paying about $40 or $50 in shipping on that. So then eBay fees will get their cut. So far, better than what it was an hour ago. I would have been here with a really sad frown on my face if I didn't have any sales. But I don't know what it is, guys. I was talking in the title, is this the calm before the storm? People had mentioned in the past that last year, like the first week and a half was the catalyst for good sales going forward for the rest of the year. Is that going to be the case here in the next week or so? I hope. Not just for myself. I mean, I kind of think, and I've said this before, that what normally affects people in Q4 may not affect the kind of things that I'm selling, because I'm selling a lot of need items. I mean, no one's going to buy a sink for Aunt Thelma for Christmas.
At least you never know.
I hope not.
Maybe Lissa's family will do it.
Yeah, but for others who really have like bad months, and then we get to Q4 and Q4 kind of makes up for everything. I'm really hoping things shake out for those folks because it's just, one of those time of years we look forward to selling. And if it's not nothing selling, then we've got some problems. So I want to know what you think on this topic down below, sort of to set the tone of the conversation. Have your sales improved over the last couple weeks, or are they kind of the same, stagnant, or worse? But if you're like Mad Hatter's Boutique with a great looking store, and he's only been selling a couple of years. You see the quality of items that he has in his store, the way he lays out his items. I love the white clear, the background removal that he has on here. It's just professional looking, across the board. Really good. No flowers behind the hat or anything. They're just plain, white background.
Well, it's focusing mainly just on the product, which is exactly what we want.
Yeah, and I really like it. Like it a lot. So again, go check out his store if you get a chance. Who do we have with us today? Mark Suddick says, hi, John and Jen. Also, everyone else, I had a great sales weekend and hope this week will be good as well. John, when it comes to your video, keep the old style with the intro for sure. Everyone hit the like. Now, that's the question, I guess, of the day. I put a video out this morning, and I thought, you know what? Let's change things up a little bit. I have the little intro. I have not done a video prior to today without the intro saying, without any further ado, let's go, right? And I did it the first video, just didn't know what else to say. And I thought, you know what, that could be a thing. Every channel needs their little phrase,
Well, it's on our shirts.
Yeah. And so for me, it's like I wanted to kind of change things up. I kind of feel, and I get this feeling every so often with the channel, that the content's kind of stale, the presentation's kind of stale, and got a text from good old Pete Craigslist Hunter. I got to get back to him on something, but a lot of good, cool stuff coming from Craigslist Hunter here pretty soon. So be on the lookout for that. But I'm just trying to keep the content fresh, the presentation fresh, and I just I wish I could actually put a poll together on this live, but it's not.
You just don't know how.
Well, not through StreamYard. I don't think you have to go through YouTube. So maybe I'll get a consensus in the chat what you guys think. If you've watched the video, if you haven't watched the video, but do you think some people saying it's a waste of time? And I think for some other people saying, hey, it gives me an idea as to what to expect for the rest of the video. So there's an argument to be made on both sides. So hopefully you guys can give me some feedback on that. And then I came out with another video this afternoon, and it was that listing page that popped up and gave me an error message saying that I'm not I don't have business policy, or I have business policies. And so is that the lister that only folks get when they don't have a business policy? Was just quite strange. But I want to be able to put out content as it happens instead of just sitting on it. So you might see more videos from me here going forward. Justin says, good sales weekend destroyed by a $700 worth of returns. Yeah, that'll put the the pin in your balloon or whatever. That's a bad term.
Wow.
Tune in for the worst analogies you're ever going to hear on YouTube. That's for sure. No, but it'll take the wind out of your sails when you get a
good recovery.
But you know what? I think putting the pin in your balloon will even be worse, because taking the wind out of my sails, there could be more wind coming up. So that ain't so bad. But you just destroyed my balloon. I don't know. I'm trying to justify a bad analogy.
Okay, moving on.
So, $700 worth of returns really sucks. And it's even worse when you don't have the money in your account. Let's say this happens and you have weekly. Let's say you have daily. Daily would be worse, but weekly, and you get this return like on Tuesday, like after the payouts are made. And then you go try to process it saying, okay, the money's in my bank account. eBay has my debit card for a secondary funding source. And then it says can't process the return. That is kind of maddening. So, but it's the cost. You're going to hate me saying this, but it's the cost of doing business. You do this long term.
It just really stings.
Yeah, it does. And I've been there.
Yeah.
You know, we've been there, and it's not very fun.
Yeah.
Okay. Blithering Rondo says, my weekend started like trash. Sunday went good, but I had to also just listed some easy selling items. I think Q4 is going to be later starting for being busy during weekdays. Hard to say. I mean, you know, historically, you know, just like the summer has a slowdown, Q4 historically has a ramp up period where things start to get really good. And I'm hoping that, you know, we can. Is there a problem?
No, you just.
Okay. I'm hoping.
Boxy.
I know. I feel like I'm playing hockey here. You know, I've got a hockey jersey on. So hopefully Q4 will get better. That's my hope. Kim Sharp says, hello, everyone. My sales took a tumble over the weekend on eBay. Thank goodness I have cross-listed onto Posh and Mercari.
Yeah.
And that's the one tip that I would give you. The tip that I gave Brett here is get your stuff over. I mean, he really doesn't have a real reason to because he's doing so well on eBay. But why not supplement the effort you're putting on eBay with getting your stuff onto Poshmark? If you're selling clothing, selling hats, shoes, that's what really Poshmark is known for. They sell other things too, but our success that we've seen on there is through just those things. And you're going to get more money per item, like 10 to 20% more in for your items there than you will on eBay. So I think it's a good trade-off. Daniel Lesage from Baton Rouge says, hi, everyone. Busy weekend. Miss Kathy is in her 5th day of bed confinement. Oh, no. Had 2 small sales. One book I had to refund as I forgot to mention it in the listing that it had an inscription.
Well, we hope that Miss Kathy gets on the mend real quick.
Yes, that's no good. Hopefully everyone gets well. There's a lot of people now that are coming down with illness, right? It's illness now. We won't call the name of that it was called, but I'm convinced it's kind of that, but because it's just not the fad anymore. We've moved on from calling it the C word to just being sick. Rhiannon says, hey, friends, happy Monday. Thanks for being here, Rhiannon.
Happy Monday.
And PTS Treasure says, hey, everyone. Thank you for being here. We have Callie Debs. Says, I hope everyone is getting decent sales. I was doing very well, and now crickets again. What a roller coaster ride.
Yeah, it just seems like everybody is on the same roller coaster.
Right.
It's terrible.
I was encouraged yesterday morning. Got up. I had to do a run to get some stuff, some product. And I had 24 offers to watchers. You know, so I went in, spent about 2 or 3 minutes and did the whole little routine process and sent them out. And I was really optimistic that Sunday would be a really good turnaround day as compared to Friday and Saturday. And I don't know what happened to those offers, but I mean, I think that pedestal was one. So maybe I'll see some offers come in here pretty soon, but so far, not so great. PTS says, scored a patio table, chairs, and cushions for free on Nextdoor. Well, that's good.
Sweet.
Yeah, that's good for your home. I don't know if you're going to really sell that. Maybe if you decide to do like an offer up, not offer up, but a marketplace. Josh says, hi, John and Jenna. Hi, everyone. Thanks for being here.
Hi, Josh. Hope you're feeling better.
Yeah, he's not been feeling well either. Now, one thing I want to, since Josh has commented here, be on the lookout Wednesday morning for the eBay Power Hour podcast bonus cuts video. It's like a 30 some odd minute video where we just kind of let it go. We play our little side conversation before the actual podcast. So if you enjoy the eBay Power Hour podcast, this is sort of a more relaxed version of that before we get started. So be sure to check it out.
They talk for at least an hour before.
Yeah. So why not?
And I told them I'm just going to come in here and push the record button.
Well, I did that, but you know, it really kind of highlights our thoughts on certain things, and that maybe we don't go into detail. You know, maybe on the YouTube side of things, talking about our own personal accounts and stuff. So if you like that kind of stuff, go check it out. Wednesday morning, 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern is when it's scheduled to drop. Joe Samard says, howdy all. Thanks for being here, Joe. Blithering Rando, I have a family friend asking me to do a consignment on eBay. What should I be keeping after fees and shipping? 50%, 40%. Well, let me just say, consignment's a tricky little thing. I when it comes to money, friends and family, I get really kind of weird about that. Especially if that person doesn't quite understand eBay as you understand it. For instance, you might get a sale for $100. You know, oh, good, we got money coming in. And then you divvy up the money after the eBay fees and the shipping. And then here comes your return request in 2 weeks. Okay. Now, hopefully you've sold more things to cover that. But if you didn't, you're going to have to go to them and say, hey, I need that $20 bill back or whatever it is that they got a cut of. If the way I would see sort of falls in line with the video I made this morning, that money that you get from the buyer, yeah, the buyer gets the item right away. That money, even though it hits your bank account, doesn't really belong to you until that 30-day return window is done. Okay. That's your safe zone. 30 days. Now the money is safe in your bank account. That's the mentality that you need to have. You need to condition them that we may make the sale today, but that money is not going to be available for payout until 30 days from now because I could get a return on this. So you want to temper their expectations. That's the first rule I would tell them. Okay, bottom line, because you don't want to get stuck into some kind of weird mess where you're holding the bag. Okay, now I know it's family, but families have stopped talking to each other. Friends have stopped talking to each other over stuff like this. So you got to get the rules laid out there. Now, what I would say is, I don't know if you do free shipping or not, but the shipping side should be separate. You know, if you're selling larger items, maybe do a calculated. If you must do free shipping, then let them know, look, shipping and all my fees are going to have to come out of this first. And maybe keep a spreadsheet so that they can see that you're sending them like every week or two. And then I would say after it's all said and done, after the fees, after the shipping, we're going to split this down the middle. 50-50 is fair because you're putting in the work. They're giving you the product, all right, to sell. So but again, that amount should be negotiated between you and that person. Whatever they feel, they don't feel comfortable with giving you 50% and only give you 40%. You've got a decision to make. I just never liked the consignment game. I know a lot of people swear by it. That's their business model. But there's just so many. Look, at the end of the day, I can always, maybe your sales are slow. At the end of the day, I'm just disappointing myself. Maybe that person has high expectations, right? And yours are tempered. And then they're like wondering, well, why isn't this stuff sold? It's just, I don't know. I just think it's not worth it. But maybe someone can put their 10 cents in.
Well, it just depends on really what it is that you're selling and how much you're selling it for.
We have Andy Reynos in the house.
The juice is worth the squeeze, as John would say.
Right. But the loss of friendships, the loss of family members wanting to even associate with you over something like that, is it worth the risk? That's the thing you have to evaluate. Empty Nesting says, hi, everyone. Thanks for being here.
Maria.
Let's see. Blithering says, I know a guy who owns a consignment shop and he keeps 60%. That seems steep. Yeah, I mean, if you think about it in terms of, okay, let's use Craigslist hunter Pete as an example.
Too, he has a shop.
Right. And overhead.
That's an overhead cost.
But just the same with Pete. If you watch his videos, I'm sure almost everyone here has, he sort of uses like the model of, look, here's what I can get for it on eBay. I can get $100 for this. I give you $50. And to me, that's actually not even taking into account that he's going to have to pay eBay fees on the sale, right? So he's not even really getting 50%. So I don't know. To me, if someone is, it's all depending on what someone's comfortable with, right? If someone says, look, just give me 20%, they're happy with it, then go with it. But the fair thing to me would be 50-50 down the middle. Ping G says, good afternoon to everyone in the chat. Thanks for being here, Ping. Guy Guru is with us. What's up, everyone?
All right.
And let's see. So PTS, so you're saying that you normally keep 65%. That's after fees, I assume. That's kind of steep. But again, if that person's okay with it,
It just it all depends on the relationship you have between the two of you.
What's this? No One Design. Ken. Everyone want to know what No One Design's name is? It's Ken. Thanks for being here, Ken. Jenna couldn't believe, like, what? Ken?
I thought,
All right.
why did
I got a name.
Yeah, he told me it was the funniest thing. He said, well, I know what No One Design's name is.
He sent me a lot of information in the email, but the only thing I really retained is the fact that his name was Ken. So thanks, Ken, for being here.
Guess what his name is? It's nothing like what you thought.
Call him Kenneth or Ken. Disgruntled Octopus says, morning, humans. Thanks for being here.
Good morning.
And Duncan VR says, hi, John and Jay. You're only Jay today.
That's okay.
10 a.m. here. I rushed out to post my sales of the post box. All thin letters since ephemera. I'm enjoying your eBay podcast.
You are running your sentences together.
There's no period there.
I know, but
there's no period there. I'm enjoying your next or your eBay podcast. When is the next one? Saturdays is the weekly podcast. So we have the regular content out 8 a.m. Pacific time, 11 a.m. Eastern. And our bonus cuts, we're going to try to have every Wednesday morning. So if you like that type of thing.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Duncan.
Guy Guru says early tire. No, we haven't had one of those in a while.
Duncan says, oh, my Jenna is looking very radiant today. Better give her a compliment.
Aw, thanks.
She looks very nice today in her Raiders outfit. Uh-oh. I have a
new offer.
An offer. See if I could take this, if it's worth taking. You know what? I know that this thing doesn't have the battery with it. It's a snow blower.
Snow blower.
I'm gonna take 30 plus shipping because I'm only into it for $5, and I already sold the battery and charger component from that set anyway. So, Steven SNS Bargain Barn. Hey, you need to play that in the show. Hear the doorbell ring for the mail carrier, just like Mr. Rogers' neighborhood.
We find it very annoying, but.
Now, Wrestling Fix is Raiders suck. Packers are going to the Super Bowl. I hope you're right. And I say this because I made some bets before the beginning of the year. Like who's going to, like some prop bets, who's going to the Super Bowl. And I think I placed a $20 wager. And I thought I clicked on the Raiders, but I clicked on the Packers by accident. And I finalized the bet, and it, if they win, it's worth like $1,000. So hopefully that's the case. But sadly, with Love as the quarterback, it's not happening. I'm sorry. No One Design says, looks like John got a haircut, huh? We can see more of the top of his ears. Not really. I always kind of
seems normal to me.
Sandra says, hi, 11 p.m. here in the UK.
Oh my!
Wow, it's late. We'll be your late night
you have
hosts.
A cup of tea to keep you awake.
Guide Guru says, not technically a sale, but I hit that like button and a buyer did pay. It sounds like a sale.
I take that as a solid sale.
Yeah, I have 3 sales today, guys.
I have none.
Duncan says, I list directly on the eBay UK site from Sydney, many payments in pounds sterling. Sold a letter from 1863 London to New York via steamship. 89 pounds is not even listed 24 hours. eBay converts the payment to dollars.
Wow.
That's awesome. That's awesome. We have Flip It Good with us.
That's cool.
Terry Chilikos says, hi, J&J. It's Fierce Monkey Biz. Okay.
It's Fierce Monkey Biz.
All right. Came in on the wrong account. Oh, Fierce Monkey Biz. Okay. I'm just confused today. You're not helping. Silver Hair Stacker says, howdy to all beautiful people here this evening, and John too. Larry Todd, thanks for being here. Kevin, somewhere, good evening. Thanks for being here, Kevin. Bearded Picker, PokeTuber, says they had a brand new kitchen sink at the thrift store today, only $399.
What?
Wow, that's nuts. I sold this one. These retail for about $200. I picked it up for about 10, and I sold it. I took an offer for 75. I think I had it for 110, And I figure, you know what? If someone's willing to make me an offer on it, reasonable offer, then I'm willing to do it. I can get those all the time. So Duncan says, you guys are twins today. Jenna just needs a matching hat. Yeah, but I wear the fitted hat, so that wouldn't work for her hair.
No.
Guy Grew says, last year's sales really revved up November 10th. So the countdown's on. Hopefully by this time,
so close.
Hopefully, that's on Friday. So hopefully Friday we're all talking about how sales are just rocking.
Yeah.
Diane says, good evening. I'm still waiting for my first sale of the day.
I hear you.
And for me, it was like, okay, didn't have any sales this morning, but I was determined. I got out there, I listed quite a few items, and I decided I was going to take a rest, about a 20-minute little power nap before the live, and boom, just someone flipped the switch. And since then, the last hour I've made $300. Mike says, hello, same happened to me today. 0 sales since late Sunday, then 5 cha-chings for $250.
Sweet.
It's weird how that is. Something.
I'm just glad it's happening. Okay. I don't care how it happens, as long as people are hearing the cha-chings, whether it's $5 or $150.
But it happens too much.
No, it does.
There's no consistency.
Right. And I'm tired of the inconsistency. But if all we can do is just get a sale at this point, I mean, hopefully, I don't remember who said it. The 10th is going to be the opening of Q4, even though we're already here.
Yeah. So we'll see. We're just adding stuff all the time. Adding some actually decent stuff to her account. I mean, so far, just really garbage has been on that account. If I'm being honest, and I've been honest about that account, and I don't really expect a whole lot. So when, she's like, well, I haven't had a sale, that doesn't surprise me.
No.
It's more my main account I get concerned about when sales don't happen. Yeah. Jacqueline says, I hope both of you are doing better. Thank you. Appreciate that.
We are.
Richard Spinewski says, hi, John and Jenna. I'm thinking of getting a tattoo, or at least a t-shirt with my favorite John-ism. Are you running a business or a museum? That would be awesome.
Don't go so far as a tattoo, but a t-shirt, that would be amazing.
Yeah. But that's the truth, though. How many people, I was trying to buy something at a yard sale. The guy had a lot of stuff, and the guy wanted 20, and I had offered heck, I can go 10. And he's like, no, can't go any lower than 20. And I'm thinking to myself, well, sold comps in this thing are like 50, and what is this guy just so attached? Because everything, other people were asking about prices, and the guy wasn't budging. So it's like, are you just wanting to hang on to this? Or are you just out here relaxing outside of the yard sale, just meeting people, or what?
Yeah.
Because you're not making sales, right?
Not doing it for the right reasons.
Lissa says, I want a sink for Christmas.
Yeah.
Well, we got plenty of them for you on our store.
Tell your family.
And Larry Todd says, Roman would buy a sink for me. Ken says, it is me, or does John look a bit square with that sweater on? Could be the color blocking, but Jenna looks fine, though. It's good to be square, right?
No, I think it's just because we just took them out of the packages.
Yeah.
So they're not worn in yet. Yeah. So
Jacqueline says, in my opinion, regarding sales in a lot of the platforms, over 30% of the population right now is protesting for what's going on in the Middle East. But I'm not sure if there's a correlation between. Oh, we got a return delivered. Don't know if there's a correlation between the craziness that's going on in the world and sales. I mean, unless you're saying that maybe it's a distraction, people are worried, because when there's war, a lot of times it does come with economic strife, that kind of thing.
Lots of worry about the unknown or what's to come.
Stock market doesn't like it, that type of thing. Carolyn, Bling Bling Factor Australia says, hi, J&J FE fam. Warm Tuesday morning here in Australia. It's got a lot of activity.
Warm Tuesday.
I'll throw this thing
warm, if I guess warm is good. Wait, are they?
They're in Australia.
Right, but do they have a different winter and summer than we do?
Yes. It is summertime, I believe. Like, well, it's getting close to summertime in the down under, and well, this what it is. Tony Resell says, I'm not doing too good. I feel like because I started cross-listing, it got worse. You know, there's a lot of people that feel like, you know, eBay is watching when you cross-post and they take it out in your store. I don't
think that's the case.
I mean, they're trying to add AI into the mix. They have been adding AI in the mix, but I don't think their AI is, I mean, AI is still trying to figure out how to rank someone's search request. Okay. I don't think that there's any punishment because yes, the API links up with eBay, right? But so are there's many APIs programs that hook up to eBay. Did you get a sale or something? I heard a sale.
Yeah.
Okay. So for eBay to say, you know, all these different cross listers are being hooked up to eBay, we're going to sanction them for using it. I just don't. And plus, these programs really aren't pulling data from eBay. They're sort of scraping data. They're taking data like the photos and the title and the price and the item description and putting it into
there's no way for them to know it's going on another selling platform.
Scott Bearded Picker says, good evening. So we fell back into dark and misery. Yeah, we got the color going on.
We sure did.
You could do the break out the light, right? You guys like it like this? You guys rather have
it doesn't matter what they say. It depends on what I look like.
It's going to get dark in this place.
Oh.
What do you think?
I don't really like it.
Okay, let's go without it. I'm sure the audience will. Oh, that's horrible.
Yeah.
The audience will vote for it, and we will either go with it next time or not.
What is happening?
Do you know how to turn it off?
It's not doing anything.
There you go. Okay. Wrestling Fig says Rockstar Flips allegedly says you can buy your own stuff on eBay with a credit card and rack up points. It's possible, right? But
no one does. I said it's too bright. I can see John's face.
That's horrible. It's horrible. But no. Okay, as far as this is concerned, that would just make no sense. I mean, if you're getting, let's say, 2% cash back. Let's say you got something that's going to give you 5% cash back. And on the sale, you're spending 13.25% without promoting. The math doesn't jive. It doesn't make sense. Duncan says, John, the only advice I can suggest is to add collectibles to your store. Maybe revisit selling these patches. My sales are great. But that's just it. If I could get more of those patches, I would. Yeah,
those were like a one-time thing. It's not like something that we can get all the time.
Yeah.
That was like a random let's buy type of deal, you know. We don't have access to those kinds of items.
You may see one maybe at a yard sale, someone's trying to blow away a big lot of things like that. It's possible.
I mean, it's also too, we don't look for that.
Yeah. I mean, you know, if you want to be that person that does the offer up app, or I think Nextdoor, I think is what was that PT Treasures, TS Treasures received that patio set through the Nextdoor app. Maybe you can, I think so. Maybe you can find people that are pretty much just trying to get rid of things like this. Yeah. Lots, you know, without putting them online themselves or putting them up on these apps. You negotiate, you go pick it up, that type of thing. But that's never really been my model to source. Sylvia Hunt says, hi, John, Jenna, and chat. I came to say goodbye. I closed all my apps and going to selling all.
Oh, no, Sylvia, what happened?
I hope it's not my advice that steered you the wrong way, but no, I hate to see that people just have to close shop.
Oh my gosh!
But I got to tell you, you're not going to be the only one. There's going to be a lot of people that just aren't going to be able to make this work. You're going to be anywhere from their sourcing to maybe they just don't feel like this is something that they want to do. And I know a number of people who've tried this and just threw the towel in because it just wasn't for them.
Well, I'm gonna miss you. I mean, you could come in every once in a while and just say, "Hey,
Yeah.
we'd love to see you."
Yeah, we kind of have I think a chill little atmosphere here. It's not all serious, so you're welcome to come back and hang out with us.
Yeah.
Kimberly Sweet
Or
says.
you could send us an email too to let us know how you're doing.
Kimberly Sweet says, "How do you do background removal?" Thanks, FAE family. Now, eBay has a background removal tool in the app. It works it's kind of spotty. Sometimes it'll work, and sometimes it won't. I use Photo Room. It's an app. You got to pay. It's like, what is it, like $40 a year or something like that. I use it so often between YouTube, like little, the pictures that I put together into a thumbnail. That's very handy to remove background and to do transparency. But I use it almost on every listing for eBay. And it, to me, because I can take my photos on my phone, I can use the app that's on my phone. I can upload the photos on my phone. I don't have to worry about sending any, photos to my computer or anything like that.
Yeah, there's so many different apps that you can use to remove backgrounds. I use Canva and Photo Room. They go ahead.
But no, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I forgot where I was going.
That quick, huh?
Yes, it's.
I was going to tell you guys, you guys can go to remove.bg. Now,
Oh, yeah.
you don't have to have an account. It gives you on the front page, it'll tell you upload an image. You just upload an image. I'll just upload this here, and it'll do a background removal for you. And then you just right click, and then you save as. Boom.
You can do download on
I know, but I just do it that way. That's the way I roll. So remove.bg will do the same thing, but you do one at a time, and it's only in 500 by 500 resolution, which means that your buyer's not going to be able to zoom in like with a magnifying glass option that eBay gives, unless you go in and you want to.
We first started back in when we first started full time, that's what all we used until we started, to get familiar with other apps that do the same thing.
It does a good job, but you have to pay for the credits or something you pay by how many you use.
Yeah.
And if you want the HD, if you don't mind the 500 by 500, which is the minimum that eBay will accept, then you can go that route.
Yeah.
Brian H says, "I prefer no intro on videos. Just get right to the subject matter. Just get right to it."
Yep.
Okay. Rhiannon says, "Sales are still steady, but meh here. Not a great start for Q4 this year." Yeah. You're not the only one. Silver Hair says, "My sales are on fire. 31 days over $7,000. I'm a monster part-time seller." That's awesome. You know what?
Dang, Larry.
Drop some of those sales vibes this way.
Send the heat to us.
Let's see. Patricia says, "Squirrel." Yeah. I am so distracted sometimes, guys, I tell you. Ken says, "Oh, now I see it. John looks like he is wearing a Japanese samurai outfit." Japanese, huh? I was trying to wrap my head on where I've seen that shape before. John, sit back and say Ohio. Ohio, what does that mean?
No, sit back. What does that mean?
Ohio? I don't know. Kate says,
is he referring
Kate
to another YouTuber?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Kate Picker says, "Hello, John and Jenna. Horrible weekend for me. October down 37% from September. November is worse." Oh, that's no good. Duncan says, "I feel like a dinner burger it's Melbourne Cup Day in Australia, horse racing that stops the nation." Now, it is Melbourne Cup Day today?
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Tell me what time the race is. I'll have to check that out. But what kind of...
Ohio equals hello in Japanese.
Oh, but I don't think you say it like that, Ohio. It's more like Ohio. But that's just me. Alyssa says, "I get really annoyed at those 30-second countdown clock intros." I kind of like them when you're waiting for like a...
There's some people's some people's channels I can put up with it, But there's some channels where it just annoys me because they do a countdown, an actual countdown, and it's way too long.
Sylvia says, I want to say, John and Jenna, from the bottom of my heart, how I appreciate for all teaching me. Well, you know what? I appreciate you for being here with us.
Yeah,
you know,
been here for a while, and we really appreciate you just being a part of the community.
You know, that
It's
doesn't
really-
mean you can't hang out with us. And you know what? To be honest with you, maybe you were doing this full time. I'm not quite sure if you were or not. Maybe part time is the gig for you on this. You know, do what you're doing, do what you need to do to get on the track you need to get on. But maybe, you know, don't hang up reselling just yet. That's my advice. Duncan says, should I promote ephemera at 90% ad rate?
No.
I mean, if you're killing it the way you're killing it, I'm not sure I would promote much at all, if at all, to be honest with you.
Kid said, oh, geez, John, I think you just offended about 48% of Japan.
No, I think I said it right. They want to hear that accent. The Comic Miner says, I wish they'd flip my switch. This week was my first week with a 30 sales, 30 sales days ever. And that's right after a $3,000 week and a $2,500 week.
Wow.
But, you know, it just makes you wonder, how can you go from doing so well, or on the other side of the coin, so bad, and then all of a sudden you're just getting hit with sales, or you have no sales at all? It just doesn't make sense for me. The Texas Bandit says, the listing page you showed has a vague similarity to the quick page from maybe 15 to 18 years ago. Yeah, I'd like to see it again. You know, maybe it's something eBay's implementing. I doubt it. I think it's tied into whether or not you have business policies selected. There are some people who sell without business policies. And I think the system just got confused when I went to go in to edit my item. And it, you know, gave me that page to work with. Mohammed Almontazer says, good sales this week. Okay.
Oh, good.
Like to know what you guys, when you guys say good sales, bad sales, curious what category you're selling. You don't have to tell me what you're selling, but, you know, maybe you sell ephemera. Maybe you sell clothing. It would always be good to know what you're selling, whether you're selling really good or really bad, just to get an idea of what categories are getting hit or doing well. Wrestling Fig says, if you want sales, just sell all your stuff for $1, free shipping. I got 20 sales and I'm minus money, but I have sales. No, you don't want to do that. The whole point is, look, if you want to lose money, why not just take it and donate it or throw it in the trash and just, you know, do something else.
Yeah, don't do that.
I think you're just joking.
Yeah.
Henri Squaw says, just a few small sales for us over the weekend. Penny Bartlett says, not a good weekend, but old listing sold. Go figure.
Yeah, that's that. When I make sales, it's because it's all on old stuff.
Yeah,
It's
and
strange.
I don't know if you're doing the end item sell similar thing, but I think that works for a lot of the older items. And, you know, I was watching another channel. They're talking about, you know, a dozen things you can do to get your sales going. And one thing that kind of piqued my interest, is probably absolutely nothing to this, is the metadata within your photos, more specifically the names of your photos. If the name of your photos represents or matches the item you're selling, at least on your first photo, the algorithm is going to give it a little bit more, sort of like adding an extra item specific to your listing. I don't know if there's anything to that. I'm going to try it out, but to me, the algorithm uses metadata. Now, here's another thing that gives some credence to that. Before I got that crazy listing page that I shared with you guys in the other video, I was working on messing with that. And I had, the heck was it that I had? It was, let me go to my eBay here just so I can refresh my own stupid memory. This item, okay, it was a set of golf clubs. It was an iron set that I picked up. I picked up a set of Titleist irons for $10. These irons are like 15 to 20 years old, but they had good Golf Pride grips on them. And there was a complete set, 3 iron through pitching wedge. And so I picked it up and I listed it. I thought by now it'd be sold because I have it at such a good price. And I thought, you know what, let me go in and I'll try that little metadata thing. So I went to go change what you do is you go to the listing, go to the actual listing, right click on the photo and save it somewhere on your computer. And then what you do is you go to that on your hard drive, change the name. In this case, it was Titleist golf irons or whatever. And I saved it. And then I went in and did a sell similar. And because I had an offer out, I couldn't revise it. So I had to do a sell similar. And I went in and I took out the first photo, replaced it, the one with the actual name that I wanted to attach to the photo. And guess what? I ended the listing. I launched the listing, but I never ended the other one. I didn't change anything in the listing. I didn't change the price. I didn't change anything except that photo. And eBay was not able to identify that I have a duplicate listing. Normally, if you have the same listing, eBay will give you that error message when you sell similar saying, we see that there's another listing. So maybe just the fact that I changed nothing but the name of the first photo made eBay believe that it was a different listing. So there could be some credence to that.
That just sounds like a lot more work.
Not really, because you're just doing a real quick right click. You're saving it. You're changing the name. You're going in and editing or sell similar on the listing. But I'm going to try that again later to see if I don't get the error message. That tells me that it's seeing it as a different listing and not the same by just changing the name on your photo. Mm-hmm. Sonny, thanks for being here. Raiders, yep. I'm waiting for the Giants fan that was watching with us on Friday to come on in and chat with us. But hit me up, Sonny. Want to get you on the show here sometime.
Not a Raiders.
It's not a Raiders channel. But you know what? It's good to support. I've always supported the Raiders, and just when the Raiders moved here, it was just sort of a bonus for me being in Vegas. Devon says $700 of returns. Ouch. And Jovial says, hey, FAE fam, I'll be snacking on some nachos while watching since it's Nachos Day and Talk Money Week. Chat away. That's kind of like what we were going to make.
Kind of.
She has should I say the name?
Say it correctly.
Okay. Well, her maiden name is Prano, right? It's an Italian name. But we came across this jar of spaghetti sauce. Was it spaghetti sauce? It was Piano. No, it was Priano.
Priano.
But I call it this little dish she likes to make. It's like a cheese dip, like a Velveeta, like meat and cheese. And I, instead of calling it Prano dip, which is what they call it, I call it the Piano dip. And just to get on her nerves. And it irritates her.
He's very successful.
I know how to push her buttons a little bit. Yeah. Guide Guru says, I had my first bulk buy since I require immediate payment off my listings. Customers bought 2. I asked to wait to pay and I'll invoice the combined shipping. They bought 4 more. Customers really like that. And I don't know what you sell, but usually it's your collectibles. At least that's what my personal experience. And I love those kind of customers. If every buyer on eBay or most buyers on eBay was like that, I would turn off immediate payment right away. But unfortunately, I'm not selling things that people would want to bundle anyway. So that's not happening. Duncan says,
maybe they need 3 toilet seats.
Maybe. I don't know. They need a fresh one every day. Duncan says, glad I don't ever get returns in 20 years. None of them. My buyers want to keep the old mail envelopes and letters that I sell from 1700s to 1800s. Yeah,
you have a different type of thing that people want. They're not, they don't want to return it.
You've got a good thing going on, Duncan. I think you are one of those sellers that I talk about that if you can sell within a niche and get replenishables at a good price where you can make money and there's some demand, why would you ever change anything that you're doing?
Yeah. Hill Valley Vintage, your Giants fan, is here.
All right. And it wasn't as disappointing. I mean, it was just a blowout. But wow. I told Jenna before the game, I really want to go and make a big bet on the Raiders because this change that they made, I was really thinking they were going to show up, and I should have. I mean, it's one of the things. I was going to make a big bet on the Raiders, that's for sure, and I didn't. And she could tell you because I was telling her beforehand, like, I'm thinking about doing this, and I just didn't. Like 10 minutes before game time. Chastity says weekend sales were nice. Nothing today, but an offer unpaid. or an accepted offer. I
An
hope
accepted offer.
They'll, a lot of times it's their credit card doesn't go through right away. It does take a little bit of time, and you'll see a belated cha-ching from that sale. Let's hope that's the case here. Duncan says, I would not have time to manage multiple sites with cross-posting my stuff. It's too many buyers on eBay. But the question you have to ask yourself, Duncan, is your current level of sales, are you satisfied with that?
I think Duncan is.
I think he is.
Yeah.
Why kill yourself to get more sales when you're happy with the amount of sales you're getting?
Yeah.
Unless you decide you just want to branch out and expand and grow and hire people. But if you're just a one-man show, then why would you want to increase your stress level if you're not going to expand? So it's good luck all. It was very fun time I spent in here. No, but you can hang out with us still.
You can still hang out, Sylvia.
Sonny says, I'm getting over being under the weather. And, same thing with us. This last October has been kind of brutal. Just dealing with not feeling well.
I don't know. Well, it's, allergies, when you get older, for some reason you get allergies. Like, I never knew that. But anyway, we're here. And the weather changing. So it's extremely windy here today. And it's not cold, but we're cooling off, and it's nice.
Trisha's playing with Legos. Spent all day sorting Harry Potter Legos. Never again.
No.
Yeah, I mean,
that's terrible.
We come across Lego deals every so often, but
I hate Legos.
People buy them up so fast, and it's hard to get them at a good price. And even the ones that say, parts might be missing, there's people out there who will buy them even with the missing pieces. Silver Hair says 2000. Really? Now that's old school right there. I'm a 7-year seller. I didn't see what. Oh, so Ping G since 2000. Yeah, I've been since 2002 off and on as a part-timer until we became full-time back in 2019. Chastity says, I did Guide Guru, just waiting for the coaching. Getting off of the sidebar combos here. Guide Guru says, yeah, something is weird. I gained like 50 plus watchers on Saturday, Monday 1. Yeah, I don't think I've had 24 offers to watchers available to me ever this year. And when I had a big number like that, I was already getting good sales. I don't know. Larry, yep, that's what it was. You did it through your hands on Scott's live.
Yeah.
I felt a presence of something coming through the monitor. That must be what it was. You gave me your COVID. Wrestling Figs, the amount of beers I drink a day probably kills the germs, probably why I never get sick.
That could be true.
Well, I don't drink, so that might be my problem. Joshua Mason says, yeah, I'm sick right now I was out of town and it hit me on the drive home, then really hit me once I got home. What does everyone do with their stores when they are sick? I get myself into the uncomfortable mode and I just power through and I force myself to do at least so many, maybe about $200 to $300 worth of listings. It's 5 or 6 listings just to keep my activity going. I force myself when I probably should be resting.
Yeah. The only time that I've ever seen him actually not work and do absolutely nothing is when he got COVID the first time.
Yeah.
That took him down like a truck.
Yeah.
And he was in bed for days. We didn't do anything with any store.
Josh got the Canada cold virus. What is it called again? Civida? It is CVD, COVID A. I don't know what he's trying to say there.
You're always trying to figure out the word.
Joshua says, I'm late if everyone already talked about that. Yep. We just talked about it.
It's all right.
If you're looking for NFL score news, you want to go back to the beginning. We'll let you know. Wrestling Fig says, drink alcohol daily. Fight germs. I believe in that. I think there's something to that, though. Glenda Bavona says, had a buyer request local pickup on an eBay item. First one for me. Seems strange. I'm used to pack, ship, repeat, not having to talk to people. Do not. If you have a listing that's set up for shipping and it's not set up for local pickup, do not allow a local pickup because eBay will want a tracking number. And if you do a local pickup, could be the nicest person in the world. They meet you at a local whatever, you drop it off, whatever. They take it home. They open up a item not received, and you have no tracking to give eBay. So
Yeah.
what I tell the person is to protect yourself and to protect the buyer. Do not offer local pickup. Now, if they want to negotiate, hey, I'm willing to buy it if you can set that up, go in, make a new listing, and use the local pickup where they have to give you a code that you put into the listing that confirms they picked it up. Jovial says eBay Power Hour just after Beard Pickers live on Wednesday mornings. Yeah, that's probably going to fall right into there. It's just not really planned that way, but I figure Wednesday is sort of a nice middle point between podcasts to give you a little extra content if you like that type of stuff. I got paid for that snow blower. Okay, awesome. Wrestling says Glenda just meet at Walmart. I had 3 of them first. I thought it was weird for golf balls, but it was an old dude. But most people are going to be honest.
Yeah.
Most people honestly want to pick these things up. They don't want to deal with paying for shipping, and most of the time people will just go on about their lives and you'll never hear from them again. But if we're talking anything that's more than $20, I mean, honestly, I wouldn't do it unless you have it set up that way through eBay. It's just not worth it.
Yeah, I mean, and for Glenda, just be very careful. There's weird people in the world.
As for consignment, Chastity says, I consigned once. We split 60-40 after fees and shipping. I drew up a contract for them to sign as well. I think that's very important.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, and Patricia has a good point. Consignment with the tax liability. So eBay is going to report your earnings to the IRS, and it's going to have that one full amount on it with your name. If you're good with it, then hey, knock yourself out. Blithering Rando says, great point about returns and consignment, John. I didn't think about that. I'm going to push to just buy things from him to flip rather than consignment. Seems too messy. His family could cause problems.
Yeah.
And, there's a person that we know that doesn't frequent this channel anymore, but they were doing a consignment thing. And I'm like, well, why would you do that? Just make a deal on all the stuff. And that way you're not, see, with consignment, not only are you pressured to get top dollar, right? Someone comes to you for an offer, you're like, okay, well, I'm really not getting all this money. I'm only getting a certain percentage. You have so many things that go along with that. I'm losing my thought process right now. What the hell is that about?
Family, consignment.
No, it's consignment. But what I'm saying is that you are going to maybe not list fast enough for this person. I think that was one of the problems. That person was giving them a hard time on like, well, when are you going to get this stuff listed? And it's like, dude, if you want it listed bad enough, fast enough, why don't you do it yourself? Okay. And there's people that are not privy to what's really happening at eBay. And they are surprised when they find out that you've had this thing listed for weeks and it hasn't sold. Yeah. So it's just, I just don't personally think it's a good business practice, especially when you're dealing with friends or family.
Yeah.
Let's see. Kelly Surf Dude says, I did a consignment once for someone. I told them the first item was at no charge, but if they wanted to do a continuous thing, then we would have to discuss.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny. Anytime you talk to someone and you tell them, hey, I sell on eBay. Oh, you sell on eBay. Maybe you could sell these whatever for me. I mean, I've had that conversation before, and I try to shut down that conversation quick because I'm not trying to add extra work to my workload to maybe make a little bit of money. No. Ken says, I tried consignment in the past, but then I took an arrow to the knee. Blithering says, it's stuff from the 2 of his family members' estates, so there could be feelings involved. Mm-hmm. I'll really talk it out and figure out what we can work out. Preferably, I can just buy the stuff from him instead.
Yeah,
that's a
figure out better idea, in my opinion.
Figure out what it's worth to you without really lowballing them. Make them a fair offer, of course, but also make it worth your while, because there's going to be some things that aren't really going to sell very well and be worth selling from that estate. And let it be known, hey, I can probably sell about 75% of this stuff. The other 25% is never going to sell. So, I'm willing to take it all off your hands, what would you want for it? And then just work from that. Patricia says squirrel. Yeah, I get distracted. That's for sure. Wrestling Figs has actually been ignoring a Facebook marketplace. I put Rock Band on Friday. 2 people want it, but I'm too lazy. Wasn't expecting Facebook Market to actually respond, and I never used. They'll respond. The problem that I have with Facebook Marketplace, I've always had this pet peeve. I look, if I tell you I'm going to do something, you can bet that I'm going to do it, or at least call you with a real reason as to why I can't make it. But I'm expecting, I guess, too much from these people. You know, you get a message from them, you give them your address, give them a location where to meet up, and either you're waiting for them at home or you go to this place and you're waiting for them and they never show up. I just can't stand that. That just bothers me. Yeah. Blithering Randall says, thumb up this video to get the sale started. So hit that like button, guys, and get your sale within the next 24 hours. I don't know. It just works. I don't know how it works. Henri Squaw says, almost forgot to hit that like. I need a sale. And Duncan says, do you promote the toilet seats at 70? No more than 10% for me. And I tried doing the suggested, and my sales went down. I went to back to 10%, and I noticed no difference. So for me, that's my line. I'm just going to stick with it. And for me, it wouldn't make sense to even do it more than 15%, if I'm being honest with you. I almost would rather give the buyer a discount than to give it to eBay. Glenda says, my Alexa talks to me about Barbie every day when I ask her to start my day. Steven says, John didn't get a haircut. When you get older, your ears get bigger. I'm sure he meant ears, right? Ears get bigger. I don't know. They might get out to here by next time we have a conversation.
I hope
not. Mike Gertis says, just got a sale on same schedule as you guys. Okay.
And that was at 325.
Patricia got a sale right after hitting the like button. It works. I don't know. I mean, it's no different than, you know, some of these other things I've been hearing. No, and that's why I'm not talking about the channel, put out the video, because some of the things were like, really, should I get my lucky rabbit tail out or a rabbit foot or whatever out? Maybe that's my problem. I've been taking rabbit tails instead of rabbit feet. But you know, one of those things where you maybe skip in circles for a minute and maybe that'll get you some sales. I don't know. Guy Guru says, just got a return for a shirt with measurements in the title. Too small in width. Yeah. The thing is, these buyers, not only do they not read, they just take a guess, right? They forgot they may have gained 20 pounds this year, right? And they get it and they're like, oh. Josh says, I just got a return on a $10 item. Reason is, found a better price. I'm not sure that they realize that the original shipping is not refunded.
Well, they'll find out.
You can let them know. You can always send a message saying, hey, I see you open a return on this item. Please be sure to return it in the same condition that it was received. And please also note that we will only be refunding the original price of the item, as the original shipping is not refundable. And that may prompt them to either close the return or not send it back. MJHW Collector says, are UPS drivers getting less hours because people aren't buying online? I wouldn't have the answer to that because I don't really do UPS. I had a package for UPS I need to take, but yeah. I do FedEx, and don't think I'm looking back anytime soon. Daniel says, in the regarding the lead-ins, let's go. I vote to keep it. I timed doing it, and it's only 5 to 6 seconds just before today's live. I told Miss Kathy, as John says, let's go.
Let's go.
I might just keep it. I mean, I might upset some people. I know people just don't want to have.
It's not a long intro. I mean, it's not really even. I mean, it's. Yeah. It's very, very quick. It's not like a normal, like on some of the videos that I watch, they have a countdown clock to when the person comes up on the screen. It's so ridiculous.
Joshua Mason says, just seeing the message now, YouTube isn't scrolling the chat. I had to close and reopen to see it. And Patricia says, will you tell them? I guess that's what I'm supposed to know. I don't know. Is it scrolling in your chat?
It's scrolling.
Okay. Looks like we had some deleted messages, huh? Teabags says, I had 12 sales Friday. 1 sell Saturday, 2 sell Sunday. Lawrence Trombley says, Detroit Lions fan for years, been disappointing for years, but we beat the Raiders. You beat the Raiders when I think we have a totally different team now. I really think we would have been a different team, but I mean, that's just one game, one sample size, right? Do we go back to the same old Raiders next week? I hope not, but we'll see. Andy says, listing impressions up 23%, sales down 19%. So it almost tells me you may have upped your promoted rates recently, but it hasn't had any effect. Joshua says, I ordered a wrong size once before I ever started selling. I knew it was my mistake and kept it. Or just resell it, you know.
Yeah.
Let's
give
see.
it to your cousin. I don't know.
Yakov Ben says, hey guys, thanks for being here.
It's Jake.
Yeah, thanks for being here.
Jake.
Scott Schendel says, where's your Jimmy G jersey? Never bought one, but if I had one, it would be, I don't even know if I could list it. No one would buy it. That's how bad it was. Blithering Rando says, you guys want to talk about selling weird stuff? I picked up 3 brand new urns to sell. I figured it's an item of need. You know, I'm not beyond selling that type of thing, but you just can't, eBay has it specifically in there. You just can't sell used ones.
Wow.
You can't sell a used urn. It's like, all right, well, this has been sitting here for a while.
Used or currently occupied?
Yeah, that's just sad,
That's
actually.
terrible.
I think that's bad juju to pour out the ashes and say, I guess we're not using this
That's
anymore.
awful. Let's move
Let's
forward.
rinse this off with a little soap and let's sell it.
Enough.
Glenda says, just made some cornbread in my cast iron skillet with some spicy hamburger soup for supper. Yum.
That sounds really good.
Teabag says, car repos are through the roof. The economy is not good. I agree with you there. Guide Guru says, I think that return I just got might have been a Halloween wear and return. It is an Eeyore shirt with a tail.
Yep.
That's why I do not like to sell Halloween stuff.
But we did at one time.
Yeah, after the 1st of October, I hate selling Halloween stuff.
Yeah.
Turbo Boy, hi, I'm in Australia and it's hot as today as yesterday. Would love to take out my Holden BL Colias Turbo for a drive.
Ooh.
Sounds fun. Raining all weekend in Idaho.
Send the rain down.
It's like 300 degrees in Australia. Well,
300.
I know that feeling. Being in Vegas, we get the hottest days out here, and I'm glad we have like a 6-month reprieve from it.
Yeah.
Scream NRC says they just added AI to PC, not just cell phones. That's why it keeps going down at night, and it still don't work for some people like it should. AI is going to be here forever with eBay at least, and it's why I have a good outlook for the future of eBay, because they're making these moves where other companies, at least that I know of, aren't. And they're going to be ahead of the curve, even through all these growing pains that we're dealing with. Of course, eBay is probably, they're taking a loss in revenue, I'm sure, with a lot of the lost sales as a result of this. But we're the ones going through a lot of these growing pains that eBay is going through with AI. Mavjag Maverick says, why is eBay defaulting to download QR code instead of print label after I purchase my label to print? Why would it want to do this? Why would I want to do this? You know what? I've noticed that this morning too. But it takes you to that screen and it'll say use the QR code. Why click on the print label? And I ignore that. I mean, I just would rather print with my Rolo and be done with it. Let's see. I get some. Scream NRC says, just what I found. My eBay keeps dropping them adding AI to PC. Lilac Seller Meg says, coming in late, but we'll catch the rest on replay. Just want to say hello.
Hi, Meg.
Thank you for being here, Meg. Awesome. I'm glad you're here. PTS Treasure says, next door is not my sourcing model for my biz, but for my house, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Free pallets we built in our garden beds, and of course today's score.
Yeah.
You can find a lot of good deals.
You can find a lot of really
locally.
good stuff.
Because people don't really know what the value of the items that they have. Their motivation is to get rid of
It's
it.
just to get rid of it. They don't care how much they spent. They just know they want a couple bucks for it.
The beauty of a good yard sale, that same yard sale, I bought that set of irons, and the irons were beat up pretty good, but they still have value. Bought those irons for $10, and they're like blowing everything else out. So I was checking out some of the clothing on the rack. They had an old Detroit Pistons pullover sweater. They wanted $1. They had an old Detroit Tigers polo shirt. They wanted $1. They had a Tommy Bahama men's, I think it was an extra large button-up shirt. They wanted $1. So I bought $5 of shirts like that. That's what we're going to need to list those things. But you can find really good deals, and people don't care. They just want to get rid of it. Sylvia says, sorry, no, John. My husband is 74 years old, and I decided to spend more time with him. For sure, Jenna, I will showing up sometime. I love you guys.
Aw,
well, that's awesome.
We love you too.
Well, tell him we said hello, and be sure to drop back in when you're maybe have some downtime.
Drop in and say hello.
Yeah, it's a family show. At least we try.
Well, until
Ken gets involved. Guide Guru says, I use Photoshop. Auto Mask is pretty good and quick. The website works pretty well too. Turbo Boy says, hey John, you would look so cool with your arm out the window driving a VL Calias Turbo.
Right, so that person has been blocked.
Okay, I would be looking cool driving down the street. I don't disagree with that. Lisa says, I'm thinking eBay started doing the promotions around the same time the new tax policy was set in place, so that any amount we spend on promotions is an extra expense that we can write off. I don't know. I really think eBay is trying to still fight that on Capitol Hill to get them to change the number from $600 on up. Remember, they were talking about this last year. Remember, we're all kind of gearing up for it. And then December, they gave everyone a reprieve for another year. So I know one thing. To me, I'm just paying whatever I have to pay. This is the bottom line. I've been pulling money out all year for it. Let's see. Ed, thanks for being here, Ed.
Hi, Ed.
Awesome that you're here and you can make it. Relic Resell says, hello from Henderson. Cool. Thank you for being here.
Henderson.
There's probably a ton of resellers out here in Vegas. I would love to do some type of a get together. I know that Vicky and Katie, they do one every so often, but maybe one for the channel I'd like to do. That would be kind of cool. Otnip drop flips.
It's Richard.
That's Pinto Ford. Says, hello, everyone. Thanks for being here. Patricia says, I like Courtney Bolo Buddy's intro, 3 seconds of fireworks noise. What about 3 seconds of just like glass breaking? There's a lot of people like that. Let's see. Ed says, I was looking for the Ryobi 1-gallon vacuums and DVD this weekend on eBay. When I looked at listings, the ones that had a white background made me not want to click on them. Do you think buyers think this way? This is why I kind of think that they do, because they're not sure if you have the item or not. So what I like to do is that first.
I got a sale.
Did you get a sale?
I got a sale.
Okay. Well, that first photo is the background's removed. I do that for Google. And the rest of the photos, I try to take in this room here with a nice little wood table and the backdrop. And I think people are more open to buying when they see that, because it's not a drop shipper. I'm not going to get this in an Amazon box. This is an actual person that's going to ship it to me. So I think there's something to that for some people. No Design says, or Ken says, John, I wouldn't mind the intro in your videos if you do it in Japanese. Yeah, that would go well.
That would be hysterical.
How can you expect me to do it in Japanese when I can barely do it in English?
He can barely do anything in English.
Courtney Peterman says, I sell plush and toys and my sales have picked up, but it's also Q4. Good. Your sales, I would expect them to pick up for most people. Let's hope that's the case. And it is Hey Fro Sells video I was talking about, and not throwing shade at him. I think he does a good job. I just think that some of the things, and he even said, in his beginning of the video that, some you're going to scoff at, blah, blah, blah. But you know what? If there's something to it that when I change the name of the photo, change nothing else, the photo is the same, and I sell similar without ending the other one, and eBay doesn't catch it as a duplicate listing, that there's something to it. Biff Boffo metadata on photos is some 1997 thinking. Pass. But Biff, we don't know if it's a thing or not. I'm not trying to say it is, I'm willing to try really anything. And you know me, I'll try anything. I've tried all kinds of things on this channel. If I can maybe do that for some of my listings and get some better results, maybe it's no different to me than the video that another YouTuber put out about a month ago saying that, you know, start putting certain item keywords in your item specifics and you're going to get more sales. Is it a thing? I don't know. But as resellers, we're constantly looking for a thing, right? When the basics don't work, I think we're constantly looking for it. Lazy Dog Enterprises says, I've been cross-listing, and it's funny because my listings from Posh are selling on eBay using List Perfectly. As soon as I cross-list from Poshmark sells on eBay, sales are up this Q4. That's good. Maybe that's just a coincidence. I don't see how, you know, if you're cross-posting from Posh to eBay, it would be any different than establishing the listing first on eBay and then cross-posting on Posh. But maybe the answer is you just have good items to sell. Turbo Boy says, just log back in. They definitely can't see my messages. I see this one. Let's see. So I have some new ones here. Trying to kind of catch up to you guys a little bit. Woody's Comic Chest says, called eBay, asked why they turned my switch off. Can you reset my store? They said, looks like you're doing everything right, which is what they'll tell you. Guess people just don't have disposable income these days. Roller coaster. Yeah, that phone call used to be a thing. Now you really aren't going to get anywhere when you get someone on the phone and ask them to reset your store. I would say you may want to just do the end item sell similar routine. Joshua says, I think he's just far back in the messages. I am just far back. I am very far back. That's the way this live rolls, unfortunately. Blithering Rando says, since the move, you don't have to worry about getting shanked at a Raiders game.
Yeah.
No, but you got more opposing fans at the game now because people are buying the tickets to resell. The Hill Valley Vintage says, the Giants fan here checking in. As I said a few weeks ago, I get demotivated every week, wasting my time watching that garbage. LOL. Congrats to you. You know, they had a really good turnaround year last year, the Giants, and then they just, you know, they have a quarterback. They keep putting all their, you know, I guess I'll say dimes, as they call him, Danny Dimes. They put all this effort behind this guy, and he's no good. You guys need a new quarterback. John Doe says, question, what kind of lighting display should I use to get great photos on clothing? I would say the best lighting source is the sun. If you have a way to get good sunlight in your room, then certainly sunlight is the best one. But you can find some LED lights that give off, I would say, more of a bluish light, a white light, than a warm light.
Yeah.
I think that works really well. Let's see. Turbo Boy says, I just listed things I specifically or especially kept when I was younger and had in the cupboard to sell.
Quit reading his stuff, honey.
What?
Moving on.
Why not?
The person's
been asking about why I haven't seen the items of the comments.
Yeah.
Health as well.
He's not saying anything useful.
Okay. Did you know that eBay will suspend you for sending shoes to the authenticated if they aren't real? So you have to get them authenticated before sending to eBay if you aren't 100% sure. Well, we did that. We had a pair of Jordans.
Not suspend you.
Well, it's a warning, and you know, I had a conversation with many reps because that's how I get a U.S. rep on the phone, is to act like I care about the authentication service, and before I ask my real question. And one of the questions that I've asked on a number of occasions is, well, what happens if I get more of these that come back as not authentic? And it's like any other warning. They'll warn you a couple times before they'll say, you know, next course of action is, you know, suspension, kind of thing like that. So you just got to be very careful. But yeah, it's happened to us already. Not Funny says, sold a lot of 25 pins. The buyer messaged saying she didn't get 2 of them. I'm 100% sure I sent them all. I asked her to do a double check. How should I handle this if she says it is missing 2 pins? return it. I've had that happen where people say, oh, you missed, forgot to send this particular accessory with this item. And it's like, I know I sent that. I don't have it sitting around here. And I ask them to please go back and check the packaging. A lot of times they'll maybe one or two will fall out into the packaging you have in the box, and they'll find it. Sometimes they're fishing for a partial, but I would say, open a return, and we'll just go through the steps at that point.
Yeah.
Here's Roman, says Todd hit the like button and Rangers forfeited their World Series title. Hello, everyone. Courtney says just got $125 cha-ching. I love that.
Yes.
That's good.
Mine wasn't quite 125, but I got a cha-ching too.
Andy So Meta says it's a barcode now. Just did one. Just remember to ask the code or barcode if you do local. Yes. You got to do that for local. Let's see. Liz EU says I love doing
Realize you.
Liz, realize you?
Mm-hmm.
You sure about that?
No.
Okay. I love doing consignment. It takes serious conversation with the right people to make it work. I agree with that. And
Liz EU.
Okay. So
sorry, I had to...
that's kind of what I said, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
You need to have a contract with the person. That's what you need. Meg says with consignment, I feel like people always think they're doing you a favor. Yes. Like, oh, look at all this good stuff that you get to make a few bucks on, right? And it's like, you don't see the work that I have to do. They think it's just real easy, and it's not.
Yeah.
Let's see. Crafty Girl says, hi all. I listed some motocross pants this weekend and tried to list them on a different category than others had them listed. One in pants, one in cycling. eBay would not let me do it. Says see next. Says they would only let me list them in eBay Motors. I tried to change everything I could in keywords to see if I could fool the algorithm, but I couldn't. No, it's going to allow you to list that item in certain categories only.
That's weird.
Yeah. Gotta play by their rules, unfortunately. Not funny. This is marketplace is all people fishing for your address or your phone number, and you give them their phone number, and they can somehow hijack it through Google or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, we just before Tyler moved to Texas, we sold his bed frame on Facebook Marketplace. And I did it through my account rather than his account because he closed his. Yeah. So initially I was getting messages like, I'll be there at 3:00 to pick it up. And what's your address? And I'm like, and I didn't know anything. Of course, I didn't give him the address and wanted to, get more information from them. But ended up saying, forget it. You deal with this. And I handed in my iPad and said, here, you do it. I'm not dealing with this. And we had like 5 people say.
I'm reading this comment. So finish your thought. I didn't say a thing. I don't know why you got interrupted because I didn't say a thing.
Okay, just go.
I'm reading this comment. Turbo Boy says, I'm ending my store, John, because you cannot see my messages. Donating it all to Savers tomorrow. Electronics, video games, collectibles. Had enough. Thanks. Goodbye. Well, I'm glad I'm the one that determines your failure or success on the platform.
Don't let the door hit you in the...
Jimmy D says, just bought 100 poly mailers and 100 bubble mailers using your link. You will be able to retire soon.
Well, thanks,
awesome.
Jimmy.
Thank you. Yeah. Gyropack, they do sell very good
we need to
poly
place
mailers.
An order.
We are going to place an order.
Yes.
It's just not going to do it right now during the live.
Well, no.
But you guys can if you want. Use the link at 10% off down below and let me know how it turns out for you. Everyone that's ordered loved it. Really good stuff. Karen says, I think the AI of eBay just sell the top stores. That way he looks good to the boss. I don't know how AI thinks. I'd like to think that AI would give everyone a shot. But
does eBay think or AI think?
Well, that's what AI is. It sort of does its best with the information that it has, and then it retains that information and then tries to use that information for future. Yeah. Pretty soon, artificial intelligence is going to control the world. Well, the intro is unique and annoying. It makes me want to watch the video. I don't want to annoy anyone, but you know.
Well, that's good. It makes you want to watch the video.
If I didn't say without any further ado, let's go, would you guys still watch the video? The video I put out today without the intro sucked, by the way. It got, I thought it was a decent conversation, but it didn't get a lot of play. So maybe they just didn't see the intro and turned away. I don't know. See if I can get to someone new here. Patricia says, Earns returned to Amazon because they didn't fit.
I think later on he says that they were brand new.
Oh, okay. Patricia, the Earns weren't even open before being returned. They're quite nice. Could be used as a cookie jar.
Oh my god!
These cookies taste funny. It's all right, honey. You're just your uncle.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
Hot Nip Drop Flip says, people talk about hot. Try living in Missouri with over 190% humidity. Yes.
Nope. You go ahead and keep it.
The Thrifty Loon says, hey, team.
Hi.
Larry, way out, says, hi, Richard. I've been called Richard before. It's all right. Woody's Comic Chest says, big sales one day, crickets for the next, over and over. Figure that out. It's just a roller coaster ride. That's all I can say. Side Gig says, on the purchase label page, scroll down and choose print label. It started defaulting to QR code, but if you change it once, it stays. Driving me crazy today. Yeah, I was noticing that today myself. Andy's sleeping or something. I don't know what's going on. Larry says, I had 50.
We got a lot of weird birds on this live.
I had
today.
50 plus items sold over the weekend. I dropped them off at the post office this morning, and they scanned them, delivered to their P.O. box. My eBay mail has blown up with buyers showing delivered. Ooh. They had the wrong code on there. The scanners that they use, they have to flip a switch from acceptance scan to delivery scan. And
that could be a disaster waiting to happen.
Yeah, but we'll see. We'll see. Just give it some time. Let the buyer know they scanned it wrong. I shipped it today. Give it a few days, and it'll be there. John says, hi, Jenna and John. If a seller is in it for the long term, sales will come their way. Mm-hmm. Buyers want problem-free purchases and knowing that the seller will be there for them if a problem comes about. Yes.
That's right.
But a buyer won't know that unless you are freely communicating with them, reaching out to them. Some people even go as far as thanking them for the purchase. Hey, thank you for buying this. I'm going to get this thing out first thing tomorrow. People would appreciate it. It's not very long.
There's a conversation, I say that.
But
I don't.
If I sold in a niche, because
in a niche, yes.
If this person's buying for me, they ain't gonna buy again. Just the way the numbers roll out for me. I don't, unless it's someone that watches the channel, they're not gonna buy an item again from me. So me going that extra mile doesn't make any sense. It's sort of like when I put the coupon code on all the packages. It was all for naught. I spent money on these labels and nobody used the code. Mm-hmm. But if I was Duncan VR, if I was, some of the others here that sell within a niche, I mean, I certainly would do all that. I would do the coupon code on the packages. Mm-hmm. For me, I would be sending them a message and saying, hey, thank you for your purchase. I'm going to get this thing out first thing tomorrow. That person's going to be impressed with your level of customer service. They run into a problem. They're not going to come at you with an attitude. They already had a good interaction with you. They don't have to fall back on the last purchase that didn't go good. Yeah. So I think
they're not going to come and attack you. They're going to come.
Tommy, I was worried about you. I was going to send out the search team here.
He probably was knocked out from the smell on those shoes.
I've got hit the like 8 times in the last 45 minutes. I think the thumb fell off. How's your sales, Tommy? Curious. I haven't checked your store in quite some time. Rosie says, hi, John and Jenna. Hello, everyone. Let's hope things improve for the remainder of 2023. Yeah. This is the time it should be happening.
That's right.
I hope so. I don't want to have this conversation here, Black Friday saying, where's everyone at? By then it's too late. Tommy says, there is no hacks for eBay. The only hack is finding good items and going to work every day. That is the hack.
That is it.
That is the hack. Tommy, 100%. Yep. Silver Hair Stacker, can I call eBay and reset my life? I want them to reset your camera view on your lives. I want them to pan over to who you are.
I'm gonna get him a coffee mug that says "Flipping ain't easy," so he,
I want to get him a
it'll be
mirror.
in
I want to
camera.
get him a mirror that only sits one way in his desk so we can see who he is.
No, he put it on the cup,
Okay.
on his coffee cup right there.
He wouldn't use it though, I don't think.
And then when he goes like this, we could see him.
Tommy says, Guide Guru, people do anything for views. Hopefully people are seeing the colossal amount of BS out there and watching the people cry about sales. Yeah.
Yeah, true.
I mean, I've resorted to everything but crying yet, but I'm down, but we're gonna figure this thing out.
But it's not forever. Nothing in eBay world is forever.
There's an answer. I'm a firm believer there's an answer out there. There's a reason, and it may boil down to a couple things that people don't really want the answer to. Am I selling the right thing? Or is this for me? Is reselling for me? The answer could be no. But for me, I'm certain this is for me. Patricia, it wasn't the change the photo title. Why didn't Cassini flag John's? That's what I want to know. Why didn't it flag my listing? And all I did was change the name of the first photo. That photo was the
file
same.
name. It was not even has anything to do with.
Didn't flag it. So I'm gonna work. I'm gonna do a couple more later and see if it happens again. But that's telling me the system looks at it as a change. It's a different listing entirely.
A new listing, yeah.
No, the Chokeland traders. Let's hope not, right? Guide Guru says, I agree that there is a fine line in trying to understand Cassini and going into a rabbit hole thinking. You can get down a rabbit hole quick.
You can find that rabbit hole and get really
Ford Pinto
lost.
says, I had my first pair of Jordans to list and has to go through the authentication. Hope once sales goes okay, new for me. Yeah, you worry about it.
Just make sure you disclose everything in the description.
Lots of good photos pointing out everything.
Every flaw. Everything.
Thomas says the CRI level of the LED is what makes the color accurate for clothing. John Doe, 97 or higher CRI should be sufficient for accurate colors. That was good information. Thank you, Tommy. That's
good job, Tommy.
Patricia says, I bought small red poly mailers and put all small parts in them inside the shipping box with the thing they go with.
Yeah.
Lots of good uses.
Yeah.
Patricia says, daylight lamps and I calibrate my iPhone camera to a gray card for a white balance. That might be a good technique. I just go in and I change my, maybe I'm doing this wrong the whole time, but
calibrate my iPhone camera to a gray
so
card.
I will go into
What does that mean?
the exposure and change it to plus 0.7, and that does pretty well for me. Maybe there's some other settings on the iPhone I need to change. If you guys know of any, let me know, because I want to make sure that my photos look a little bit better than they do. Jimmy D just got a sale. Hit that like button.
Woo-hoo!
Awesome.
We need like fireworks.
Patricia puts the coupon code in my feedback to buyer.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah. But again, if that buyer is going to look for your store before they go and look out for the rest of eBay for that item, then that's a good thing. For me, I just know that's not a thing. Crafty Girl says, same on the coupon codes. Haven't had a repeat buyer in 2 years of doing so.
Yeah.
Tommy had a phenomenal week.
Of course he did.
Weekend. Christian's dad says, glad I caught you guys live. Best weekend of the year, eBay wise. The Bucks let me down again, though. Yeah. I think the Buccaneers are over performing. I just never been a Baker Mayfield fan. Crafty Girl says, Patricia, good idea. I saw someone's eBay store that has coupon code of 35% on everything, and the expiration is dated year 2025. eBay has come out and said that the optimal markdown sale is, well, this is not a markdown sale. The optimal markdown sale is 2 weeks. As far as coupons, I have one that I run year to year for like January. I'll put out a new one for that year, and I just don't mess with it after that. Tommy says 95% of the time eBay lets me duplicate listings daily. Sell the items over and over. Sometimes I'll have 3 to 5 the same shoe listed same day. That's interesting. And you hadn't made any changes to it. But many times I'm doing the end item sell similar and I forget to, or I didn't do the end listing, the original listing properly. It'll almost all the time flag me. John says hi again and gave a thumbs up and got a $98 order. Awesome.
Yes.
Otnip Drop Flip says I hit the thumbs up, still waiting for my sale. That's it.
I know.
Drop.
You got 24 hours, baby.
Yep.
24 hours.
Yep. And Jovial likes the Ravens. They're a very good team. Anytime Picker Roman says Richard, ha ha ha.
He's laughing.
Pat Mack says hello from Ireland. Have you ever used eBay Mag? What is eBay Mag?
eBay Mag?
Hope it's not a bad site. Here we go. Is this going to be something that I'm going to regret here? No, never seen this before.
eBay for business?
One platform to post listings, manage orders, and optimize shipping. Use it for free. So anyone else out there use eBay Mag? That's very, very interesting. Thanks for the heads up on that. Tommy says, occasionally it tells me I duplicated, but rarely. It's weird. I don't know if you saw the video I put out earlier before the live, but it gave me a very, very different lister tool when it did, well, after that listing with the golf clubs, it gave me on this, it's a sissy bar bicycle seat or motorcycle seat.
Not bicycle.
Not a bicycle seat, motorcycle seat. And it just the weirdest thing, it gave me a very good listing tool. I liked it. I wanted to keep it, but
it actually looked a lot less confusing or overwhelming.
Yes, it is. More money back because the money you spend hitting that like button, I'm going to make sure you get every cent of it back.
Every cent.
Yeah. So, we got Patricia says, Guy grew a color balance is problematic. So the get card is essential for me with iPhone. So you take a gray card and you try to make it white. And that's kind of how you do it. I think that's what Patricia's saying here. Gray card. Banana seats were my favorite.
Were John's favorite.
That's what he's saying.
Oh.
But yeah, as long as they're not upside down, I'm good. So,
terrible.
Yeah. So thank you guys for being here. We're at the end of the comments. So I just want to thank you. We're an hour and 37 in. Pretty good conversation today. Again, thank you to Brett and Julie, Mad Hatter's Boutique, for sending us these awesome
amazing
Mitchell and Ness sweaters. And go check out their store.
Yeah, did you ever put the
I did put the link there, and I will put it again if you guys are interested in checking out the store. And if you buy something cool, but if you don't, check out what some good listings are. He's doing very well in his store, and I'm sure he doesn't mind.
Yeah, he's riding solo. Julie's his wife, but she has a full-time job. And,
yeah.
You know, he's killing it all on his own, and it's incredible.
Very, very good. Very good. So want to thank you guys for being here, and I want you guys to have a great rest of your week, and we will talk to you guys on the next live on Friday.
See you Friday.
Take care, everyone.